I made a video yesterday, and I was going to post it, but then I deleted it. I'm going to try again. I have so many thoughts going through my head right now. I don't even know what this video is about other than frustration. Yesterday, the video I made talked about Amy Cooper, and it talked about Ahmaud Arbery, and it talked about George Floyd. And the reason I made the video is because I wanted to point out that even though each one of those situations was about a black person and a white person, it didn't necessarily mean that the white person was racist. And I still believe that. But I'm not going to post that video. Because that's not what's important. Maybe they aren't racist. Maybe Amy Cooper isn't a racist. Maybe the cop that had his knee on George Floyd's neck wasn't a racist. Maybe the two men in Georgia that shot and killed Ahmaud Arbery weren't racists. It's possible. You can't know from what information we have. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because the situations, each one of those, point out what racism is. Does racism exist? Yes. Now, I know a lot of people talk about slavery was a long time ago. I can't be held accountable for it. Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe on a personal level, you cannot be held accountable for it. But that doesn't matter. Because slavery existed, and as a society, this society that we live in, allowed racism and slavery to exist to such a degree that whether you want to accept it or not, it is still impacting our lives. And that's something we all have to deal with. Whether we're racist or not, whether we are directly related to slavery or not, whether we are doing anything that is racist or that condones slavery, it's still something we have to deal with. And somehow by taking away from that fact, we're discrediting it. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, the police officer in Minneapolis that had his knee on George Floyd's neck, he might not be a racist. I don't know. But that's not the issue. Amy Cooper might not be a racist. She might not even be a bad dog owner. But that's not the issue. Now, I ran across a theory yesterday. And it said that the whole situation with George Floyd being killed, where he wound up dead, might have been staged. Maybe he's really not dead. Maybe the police officers were just actors. Or maybe they were police officers paid to do what they did. You know what? As heinous as that might be, And if it is true, I certainly hope that it's found out and brought to everybody's attention, and the people that perpetrated it have to deal with some really horrific consequences. I hope it's true. I hope it was all staged. I hope it was fake. I hope it wasn't really police officers, or I hope they were police officers that got paid to do it. I really do. I hope it's true. Because if it's not true, then I literally watched a police officer put his knee on an unarmed man's neck who was begging for help to be allowed to breathe, slowly die. And that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I hope that conspiracy theory that it was all some concocted scheme, which coincidentally, they're saying it's a concocted scheme just to get Trump out of office. I hope it is, because the reality of what it is, otherwise, I still can't wrap my head around it. I watched a man put his knee on a handcuffed, non-resisting citizen for 8 minutes until he died while he was begging for help. And no one did anything about it. And I don't care if he's racist or not. I don't care if that cop is racist or not, because what he did is unacceptable. And now today, I'm dealing with Facebook posts and videos and feeds and comments about how bad the looting is, how it's wrong to loot, how setting buildings in your community on fire because you're mad is unacceptable, how stealing from local businesses is wrong. Okay, all right, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But when an injustice occurs that has such magnitude that it impacts society, not just your community, but society as a whole, and no one is doing anything about it, the frustration that can come from that needs to be taken into account. No, I don't really support the rioting or the looting. But I can understand it. And if you can't, I don't know what you're thinking about. But there's a problem. And I don't understand our president. I don't understand how people can support him. I don't understand how people can say he's making America great. Look around. Listen to what he says. He lies constantly. He changes his story on everything. And don't get me wrong, the entire government is corrupt. Okay, I'm not trying to dispute that. Every single politician lies. I'm not trying to dispute that. I'm not in any way saying he's the only problem. I'm not trying to say that government is great or that government isn't overreaching. It's way too big. Government is taking away our rights, literally. I know that. politicians only care about their own self-interest. I know that. I understand that. But when I look at our president, when I look at Trump, the magnitude of those problems that he represents is worse than anyone else. And that's the problem. He's supposed to be a leader. In some small way, people should look up to the way he leads. But if you ask people that support him, would you do that? Would you tell your children to grab a woman by her pussy? No, I wouldn't. But we have to accept it because he's just talking. No, we don't have to accept it, and we shouldn't. When he deals with a crisis situation, when he deals with the problem in Minnesota, in Minneapolis with the rioting, and he says the looting starts, the shooting starts. I don't care what he claims afterwards that he meant. That's not leadership. That's disgusting. You don't threaten to kill Americans who are frustrated with the government because the government doesn't work. And people that support that, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't like the government. I think the government is too big, and it's taking away my rights. Oh, let's go shoot these people because they don't like the government. What? Oh, Trump is so cool. He's so tough. What has Trump ever done that's tough? Oh, he killed somebody in Iran. Oh, we fired missiles. Did you do the backstory on what happened over there? Do you have any idea why he fired missiles? Okay, maybe he killed someone that we can consider a terrorist. But look at what Iran is. Go back and actually study the history. Learn how we set up everything in that country because we wanted oil. We actually literally set up that government and then watched it fail and then set up the counterinsurgents against that government, which actually means we set up ISIS. We armed and created the terrorist group that we deal with today. And now we're mad at Iran? And we did all that for oil? And then we're going to kill somebody because they're frustrated? And oh, an innocent American was killed, so we have to kill them? Are you kidding me? That makes you tough? I don't know why people are buying into the propaganda. I don't understand why it's so important to divide the country and say, those people are different from me, so I hate them and we need to kill them and we need to somehow find a way to insult them and say they're worse than us. But that's what's going on, and we need to back up and we need to look at it. And no, it's not just the right, it's not just the left, it's not conservative, it's not liberal, it's everybody. We're all doing it. Take a look at society. Take a look at who you are and what you support, and actually question if what you are promoting and what you are supporting goes with what you're talking about. Because I'm guessing for most of us, it doesn't. So yeah, I don't even know really what I'm saying here. I'm just frustrated and I needed to say something. But when I watch videos of Ahmaud Arbery being shot and killed, and nobody gets arrested, or nobody was arrested until the video, And then I see people angry because black people are saying it's a racist killing. Right? Maybe it's not a racist killing. I don't know, you're right. But I can understand the sentiment. And maybe you should consider the sentiment more than the actual statement. Because the frustration that people are feeling is what we need to take into account. This country has problems. And if all we want to do is be angry at people, we're making it worse. We need to deal with the problems, not find a way to blame other people. The government is totally corrupt. It's filled with politicians that lie. But to try to defend the president because other politicians lie too? No, that's not right. To try to defend George Floyd being killed in Minneapolis by posting a video of a black cop choking a black teenager? Really? That's something important to you. Do I understand that the media is just as biased as everybody else, that the media goes out of its way to push an agenda of hate? Yeah, I understand that. I do. I'm as frustrated with the media as you are. Believe me, I am. The media is lies, just like politicians are. Everybody is pushing their own agenda. Don't fall into that trap. Don't do the same thing just because you're mad somebody else is doing it. We have issues. We need to come together as people, not find a way to say someone else is bad and we're not. I don't even understand what's going on. But somehow, I hope the conspiracy theory is right. I hope this is all just staged, fake lies. And maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and it's a bad dream. Or maybe the people that are staging it all will come out and say, yep, gotcha, it was all just a joke. And hopefully they'll go to jail or something. But we don't have to hate each other because people are angry. We don't have to find ways to blame someone else because people are angry. Think about a cause that you fight for and you support, that you have no issue fighting for and supporting. Why can't you see that in someone else? Why can't you understand their issue as well as your own? Why can't we come together and work together and solve our problems? I don't know. But when our president doesn't want to do that, when all he wants to do is make threats and talk about himself and how everybody's mad at him and that's not fair, I'm sorry, I don't want a 3-year-old running my country. I would like somewhere, somehow, for the citizens of this country to care about each other, not because it's our patriotic duty, but because we're human beings. And I would like somehow for the people in charge to actually show leadership. And if that's too much to ask, then I guess I'm just going to be miserable, because that's all I want. I'm sorry that I'm frustrated, but thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day.